Hi, and welcome to my blanket tour, where I discuss 5 blankets that I enjoyed making and that you'll enjoy making too. Stick around, guys, because it's time for yarn. Let's begin this tour with a mile a minute. This is one of the simplest blankets that you can make with a simple double crochet. You make this blanket by first creating strips of whatever colors that you would like here, and then joining it with another color. Now, I took inspiration from Krista, the Secret Yarnery, and I used a neutral to join together these bright colors. I used up this fluffy, soft, kind of 70s retro yarn that I had gotten and somebody had given it to me years ago, and I didn't particularly enjoy the way it looked by itself, and it was really only good for making scarves and hats, and here in Florida that's not so good for us here, so I had to find a different use for it. And so I decided to, instead of just letting it sit in my stash and rot, I decided to make it into this mile a minute and used up some of this orange and bright yellow that I had lying around that I thought went with it well. I couldn't find a green, so I couldn't add any green to it. Then I just stitched a simple double crochet border around my peaks and valleys. It did get a little ripply. It's not perfect, but hey, it's snuggly, it's cute, has little baubles on the corners. So thank you so much to Krista from the Secret Yarnery for helping me learn how to do this mile a minute. I will try to tag her in the description box, that video, so that you guys can try that as well. Next up, we have one of my crowning achievements with this plaid striped color pooling blanket. It is simply made with granny stitches. There are 3 double crochets together over and over and over with the same stitch count. If you've never tried color pooling, this Red Heart Super Saver in neon stripes is wonderful for this. It makes this beautiful, nice blocked plaid here. I did not think I could ever make anything that looked like this, but it was a lot easier than it seemed. It's simply the same number of stitches in each color all the way through. The hardest part about this was lining up my new skeins. When I had to join on a new skein, getting the colors to line up correctly so that it would continue the pattern. However, this blanket is one that I'm super proud of. I keep it on display on my couch just because the colors are right up my alley. I can't believe how stunning this looks, even though it was really simple to make. I did learn this from a YouTuber. I'm not sure which one, I'm sorry, I don't remember. I'll try to find that video so I can link that down below for you guys, so you guys can give this a try too. Believe me, it's a lot easier than it seems. Next, we have this comfy, cozy, snuggly blanket made out of Caron anniversary cakes. I needed 2 of them for this. I got this pattern from just one of those tear-offs that you get at like Michael's and Joann's. You just tear one off and take it home. It called for the red, like cherry color anniversary cakes, but I'm more into blues and teals, so I switched it out for this blue color. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's made in panels, and so you can feel like you're making some progress even if you're not quite finished. You know, you do a panel, you're like, I got a panel done, okay, I'm finished with that one, and then you start another one. Oh, I got another panel done, look at me, just getting it done, look at me, you know, and then you just keep on going and adding on. Now, it called for 6 panels, but I'm a little bit wider than 6 panels, so I added on a 7th panel, and I actually had enough that I almost considered doing an 8th panel, but I liked it at 7, so I stopped there. Now, the pattern called for making little tassels on the end. This is my little measly tassel. Is really just the end that I didn't weave in, because, I mean, who likes weaving in ends? Nobody. So they're just kind of dangling, and one of these days I'll get to it. One of these days. Right now, the cats just like to play with it, and you know, they're having a good time. So it is what it is. We're gonna leave them on for now. But this blanket was satisfying to make. The yarn just moved smoothly over my hook. I used an acrylic hook with it, and it was just, the rhythm was nice. It was just comforting and easy to make, and it came together quickly. And so this is one of my favorite ones to snuggle with when I'm watching YouTube or, you know, drinking some coffee in the morning. So give this one a try. You won't be disappointed. I mean, look at this beauty. Look at it. Can you believe that I made this? I can't believe it. This is the Naya Mosaic Stitch. It is made in strips, like this looks like fabric, but it's made out of individual lines of crochet. This is all single crochet. Took forever. The back is just as beautiful as the front. I don't normally take a month to complete blankets. I like ones like the mile a minute that, you know, mile a minute. It's pretty fast. This one though, I got going on it, and the hardest part for me on this one was learning how to read the chart. So I did have to do some studying up with some tutorials about how to read the chart. But once I got that down, this just took off. Now, I'll be honest with you, I did have to start it and frog it at the very beginning with the red because it just got off by a couple stitches, and that's not gonna work. You gotta make sure it's right. So anyway, I am so happy with how this came out. The way that this started was, oh, go away, bug. There's bugs. I mean, I'm in Florida. I'm outside. Can you believe there's bugs? But there is. Go away. Anyway, I started this because I had some yarn left over from a project I did many years ago for some kids I used to foster, and I had this red, I had this orange, a little bit of green and yellow. I'm like, man, those are rainbow colors. I want to make a rainbow blanket. And I found this Naya blanket online. It had an ombre rainbow, and it was just so beautiful. I'm like, I gotta give that a try. I gotta do that. So I got started, and once it got going and got bigger and was looking like this, I was like, oh, I love it so much. This is so beautiful. And my son, he's 25. He saw it and he's like, oh, I love that. I want it. And I'm like, okay, take it with you. Because sometimes I make blankets just because I like them. And then I've got like a million blankets. So it was nice that he appreciated the hard work and he wanted to take it with him. So I was like, oh, I got to hurry up and film with this before he takes it home. So this one is the Naya Mosaic, and I'll link that pattern down below. And it will take a little bit of patience. It will take a little bit of studying. But once you get this, once you learn how to do this, you will be addicted. I have another blanket inside that I'm working on that uses this same pattern in a portion of it. Oh, I'm just addicted. I love how this looks. It is beautiful. Once you figure it out, it's a breeze. You just go to town, get it done. Please go make this blanket. Please get some yarn in contrasting colors and make this. Do it. You won't regret it. Lastly, I have a blanket that I sleep with every night. This is on my bed. I have this over my top sheet. Keeps me nice and warm and snuggly. This blanket isn't really all that much to look at, but I had so much fun making this blanket. It's just a simple half double crochet, back and forth, but what makes it special is this is a stash buster blanket. I had lots of yarns that just had a little bit left over, or maybe I had bought them at the store and I thought they were nice, but then I got it home and I was like, this looked better in the lighting at the store. When I get it home and something's wrong with my lights because it doesn't look as good. Or I got it in a $4 clearance bag from Michael's, you know, the mystery bags that they do at the end of seasons. This was in there. Again, 70s retro vibe, but I'm like, oh, I'm not sure about that. You can see here some of the yarn from my mile a minute over there, right in here, that I ended up finding more of it and was like, oh no, I guess I better make another blanket. But the wonderful thing about this is I took my yarns that I wasn't sure what to do with, I had little bits and pieces, and I kind of laid them out in a way that I felt transitioned well. And then I held several pieces together, 2, 3, depending on the thickness. I had these thinner yarns up here, so I have 3 yarns that I held together. I had a big hook, I think it was an N, and I hooked them all together and got going. And then when it got down here to this thicker yarn down here, I transitioned it down to just this one and one other thread. And then I have some places where the yarn was very thin, so maybe it had 4 pieces of yarn together. But the point was, I got out all of those little scraps, little pieces that I didn't know what to do anything with. I didn't like them together in any other way besides doing, I mean, look at this. What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with that? This came in a bag that someone, they just had some yarn that they didn't want. So they passed it on to me, and I didn't want it either. So here it is in my scrappy bohemian chic blanket that ended up being one of my favorite blankets, just because it is so soft, so squishy. My dog can waller around on it and I don't have to worry about it. There are a couple places on here that she's nibbled on it, and I had to do some emergency repairs. I did, because when she was a puppy, she chewed up the bottom pretty good. So I actually unraveled this down to about here and re-stitched that much of my blanket. So that part wasn't so fun, but I just couldn't bear throwing it away because my puppy had chewed some holes in it. So I just did what I had to do, repaired it, good as new. It's awesome. Now this one down here is at the very beginning, so I just kind of doctored it up a little because I was not going to unravel the whole blanket because of a little hole up here. So I just doctored it up. If it comes loose, it'll be sad, but it's just a scrappy bohemian blanket that I just used up some old yarn and got it out of my way. So now, instead of sitting in my closet being good for nothing, weighing on me because I know I have this closet full of yarn, don't go buy more yarn, you have yarn. Now it's being used and being loved and has a new life. So if you've got those little balls of yarn, those little scraps, those little things that you're like, what am I going to do with that? I recommend crocheting it up into a beautiful scrap blanket. You won't regret it. It'll be lots of fun. It'll get it off your chest. You'll get it out of your way, out of your stash. Your partner, your husband, whoever, they won't be on your back about buying more yarn because you've used it up. So use up these scraps, get going on these patterns, have a good time. And remember, guys, it's time for yarn.